What's going on, everybody? Welcome to another episode of EdgeWorks Knife Studio. I'm going to do the Cheefarcuut 1000 grit today. This is what I wanted to do Sunday, but of course we had the resin issue. I did test it, not sharpening test it, but I did get it wet and test it to make sure that it was fine. And as you can see, we're good here. I'll show you over here as well. Oops, I'm not going to show you right there because I didn't turn the town. Let's fix that real quick. It's always good to check this stuff, right? So anyway, this is the 1000 right there. And as you can see, 100% affixed back to the base. No problemo. So anyway, what I'm going to do is I have 3 knives. 2 are the same, but all 3 are the same steel. And all 3 are proposed at the same Rockwell hardness as 63. It's Aogami 2. So I got these guys, or this guy, and then these 2 Okahide kitchen minis, which I have used before. So again, all of them are right around 63 HRC. All 3 have had a bevel put on with the 400 grit Cheefarcuut. I'm going to use the 1000 grit Cheefarcuut. I'm going to use the 1000 grit HK KnifeWorks Vitrified and the King, 1000 grit Resin Bonded Diamond. We're just going to compare, see what those 3 scratch patterns look like under the microscope. Just kind of look at the difference and see basically how close the Cheefarcuut 1000 is to an actual 1000. I probably also at one point want to do the Cheefarcuut against like a regular ceramic stone that we know has a good 1000 grit scratch pattern, just to see, not to test its speed or anything, but just to see the result, how it looks, how similar. That's another thing here. So this also is not going to be a speed test compared to these 3 stones. This is simply about scratch patterns and how it looks and how it refines the 400 grit scratch pattern. So other than that, I don't think I have anything else for this week other than I am extremely exhausted still. I'm beginning to think maybe I've got like Lyme's disease or something with as tired as I've been lately. It's crazy. But I will do more with the system coming up this weekend. I'm going to use it the way that I would normally use this, right? So I'll turn it around and do it the backwards way, which would be the way that I would prefer. And just do some more testing with that system because it's pretty cool. You know, the little bit that I've messed with it after the video, it does some pretty good stuff. Now I have noticed too, if you don't get your angles, and we'll go over this, that's not what this is about, but just a quick little thing. If you got it clamped up incorrectly and you don't have your height, your angle set, and you don't have it kind of like, I don't want to make it sound like it's too complicated because it's not, but if it's not clamped right, so to speak, or close to right, if you're not careful, you'll grind out uneven bevels. So you'll get bevels that'll be taller in like this section, for example, where this will be like a normal size bevel. Like you've heard me complain about that before. Anyway, but that's for another video. So we're going to go ahead. We'll start with the 1000 grit Cheefarcuut here on this Hatsukokoro Kurogane Aogami 2 Bunka. That's a mouthful. It's the one that I have thinned. And I actually like this thing now. I hated it before. But thinning it and evening out these bevels, the flats and stuff, getting them less bumpy. It's really improved this thing quite a bit. So, all right, let's listen to our 1000 grit Cheefarcuut. And yes, I jacked up my finger again, but not with a knife, with a screwdriver. Here we go. So much smoother. I mean, obviously, it's a 1000 grit. But, you know, when you're used to the Cheefarcuut 400, that's a huge difference in sound. It just kind of has a more of a ceramic stone kind of sound to it, you know? Now, the drier that it gets, of course, that changes, you know? Anyway. It's just a smoother stone. Just even the feel on the surface. Rubbing my finger over it, you know? It's very velvety. And that's a really good way to describe this because it does kind of feel like velvet. Let me wipe that off. Oh yeah, such a beauty. This is a great 1000 grit stone. I would be willing to bet that you could take, yeah, I'll say it, a really dull knife, and I bet you could do the same thing on this you can with the 400. It would just take a little longer. But I don't think it would be too much longer, honestly, because this thing, I mean, it's got some cut to it, so. Just using moderate pressure like I normally would. Nothing extraordinary. Extraordinary. I mean, we've got a burr. We had a burr the first go round. It felt like the burr was maybe a little bit more prominent in the upper region, but then I realized it was just how I was feeling it. So it seemed pretty even. Also, since I'm getting a replacement for this 400 1000 stone, what I decided I was going to do with it is also do, since it's thinner, this is, you know, 2.5 millimeter per side, I'm going to do another longevity test like I'm doing with one of the 400s, and see like how much you can expect to get use-wise out of this. So I'll just do the same thing that I've been doing with the 400 and just kind of keep logs of it so I know about how many knives are on it and stuff. I think that's a good thing to know. You know, that gives you an idea where you're going to be at if you're a professional sharpener. So you'll know, hey, if I'm going to sharpen this many knives, you know, I got to charge this much to be, you know, making a decent profit or whatever. That does feel good enough. So, and from what I'm seeing here, it looks, I mean, it looks good. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to swap shots. Hope everybody's had a good week. Man, mine has been insanely busy. I've been getting up stupid early. Staying late. Not getting compensated. That's all right though. Man, I'm telling you, this stone really feels good. If I was to compare this to another, just any stone, doesn't matter if it's the same grit or not. If I were to compare that feel-wise and feedback-wise, gosh, what would it be? I would probably say my Chosera 1000. That's pretty close, you know. Yeah, it just kind of has that velvety kind of feel to it. That's just the best way to describe it. Yeah, velvety, smooth, like you know you're getting in it. You know what I mean? Kind of got a little chalkiness, which I love. Which you could, for the chalkiness, you could kind of throw in some King 1000 vibes in there too, or the Syrax even. Those might be a slight bit more chalky, but you know, still in the same kind of ballpark. As you can see with all that steel, man, this thing really does eat steel. I mean, no doubt about it. I can tell you probably for quite some time this is going to be my current 1000 grit stone. Not just because I want to test it and give the results, but like I like it the way it feels that much. Yeah, I mean, we're good. I'm going to give it a couple of long strokes just for good measure. Then we'll do a little deburr. Okay. I've also been making my own diamond emulsion. Been testing that out a little bit. It's pretty high concentration. That's mostly because I screwed up with how much I put in there. But gosh, if I had to say one thing, I'd say this stone feels at home. I feel that, you know, with the the 400, you know, you deburr like this, that, you know, you'll raise another burr, or you have the potential to. I think the 1000 is that sweet spot where you can get away with deburring on it like that and not have to worry about raising a new burr. You could if you went about it the wrong way, but that feels good. Just gonna do a quick cut test with this one. I won't do it with all of them necessarily, or maybe I will. I don't know. I'm gonna look on my Carson Micro Bright. We'll just see what we're looking at here. Make sure. Oh no. Oh, yeah, I'm gonna need to. Yeah. Okay. So I need to deburr. No big deal. I know a big deal. I just didn't do it enough, so we'll give a couple of passes here on the Cheefarcuut strop. Just use a couple on the rough side. We'll give a couple on the smooth side. Then we'll move on. This is such a nice strop. It's so big. I've got so many strops though. Okay. Now let's give a little listen. Grab big old handfuls of paper here with my fingers. Woo! I mean, yeah, that's a bad mamma jamma. All right, so that's cleaner than Skeeter's Peter. I'm just curious, just because it's sitting right there, and it's like, as you can see, I've ripped the crap out of it. Yeah. Holy smokes, it is a shizarp. Oh yeah. That's what I'm talking about, Willis. All right, let's get over here. We're going to swap this stone out. I'm going to Just kind of smudge it off there a little bit. Take this one out. Give her a little dip and a rinse. A little wrench, as my grandma would say. She had a funny way of saying some things. All right, so for this one, I'm going to go with the King. This is the King 1000 Grit Resin Bonded Diamond. Get her latched in there. It's a good stone. I like it. It's a little pricey, but they all are, you know. And anything's pricey right now anyway. So this is one of the Okahide kitchen minis. Aogami 2, 63-ish Rockwell. Okay. And away we go. We'll listen to it like we usually do. So, it's weird. This sounds scratchier. This is super smooth too. Just like any of these resin bondeds are. But it sounds scratchy. It's hard to explain. You can hear it. I mean, the other one was scratchy too, but it was more of a velvety kind of a thing. This is scratchy, like itchy and scratchy. But it's still like buttery smooth. It's like, it's really hard to explain. Rickster, you got one of these coming to you, buddy. From a Donma. Well, I'm sending it to you, but it's from a Donma to try out. It's King Resin Bonded Diamond. I think you're gonna love it, buddy. So test it out and see what you think about it and play with it. We got a little bit back here, and I think it's because this is still not straight. I forgot, one of them I didn't straighten out. I think it's this one. I just haven't done it yet is all. You'll just have to, I gotta strike it with a peening hammer, and then just kind of straighten these bevels out, or the blade itself out. It's got a little bit of a curve right about from my middle finger to my first finger to the heel. It's nothing terrible. It doesn't affect too much, but it does make sharpening a little inconvenient at times. Because you gotta, like, in this case, instead of leaving it like completely flat, like I would normally just move up, I gotta kind of rock back. This is exaggerated, but kind of rock back so that my pressure is just on those spots. Because if I don't, it's not gonna hit it until I like focus those areas specifically and do like that. Because all the pressure up here, kind of like with the bend, essentially gives it a little, this is again exaggerated, but it gives it lift off the stone. So it's all good. I can fix it. I did fix the other one. I just didn't fix this one. The other one wasn't as bad as this one. I mean, it's a handmade product, and they are using water quenching. So water quenching, you have more of a chance to warp. It doesn't mean that oil quenching is going to stop you from warping, but it's almost a guarantee if you're water quenching because of how fast it is. I always use Parks 50 or canola oil as my quenchant. And I use those heated to 130 degrees Fahrenheit. All right, we got burr all the way. I do want to put a little bit, well, no, I think I'm good back there. I do want to hit it just real quick back here, just a slight bit. Anyway, with the Parks 50 or the canola oil heated, it gives it the right viscosity, but it's warmed up, so it doesn't just instant, you know, like it quenches like it's supposed to, but it doesn't completely, like, I don't want to say make the blade cold, because it's, you know, I mean, the stupid thing's freaking burning hot, but it doesn't cool it too rapidly, I guess. There's more to it than just that aspect as well, but for the most part, that's the gist of what's going on. I've actually been forging a little bit lately to kind of relax and stuff, as well as sharpening. Can't wait to show some of those. I'm actually making some Damascus. And I'm doing it all by hand, with hand hammering and everything. Wow. That's interesting. I don't know what in the world I'm vibrating. I must be touching something. Okay. Yeah, see, it's easier on this side because the other side is bowed away. This side is bowed towards and down. So that makes that easy. Super easy. Hey, have any of you guys gotten hit by the... I gotta find it. Any of you guys gotten hit by the tariffs yet? I saw some guys that got hit by I think it was an AliExpress purchase, I think. And when they were hit with the tariff, it was like 100 and... I think that was like their purchase was $140 something, maybe. And then they got hit, and I'm sure it was an error in the math, but they got hit with like a $1,000 something tariff, and I was like, what? There was another one too, which was why I was wondering, because, you know, I get it with one calculation error, but like maybe they're just asleep at the wheel over there. Another one was a $70 item, and they got hit with a $3,700 tariff. And I was like, are you kidding me? And I know that's not right, but it's interesting that big of a mathematical error can occur. And then, you know, do they actually fix it? Because there was a lot of complaining on Reddit about it, and I think one of the things they were saying was they weren't fixing them. So that's just crazy. And these were DHL shipments, by the way. I know if I got a freaking shipping tariff payment thing for anything close to that kind of money, I'd just tell them to get bent. Thing is you don't, the product gets destroyed sometimes, and they don't always send them back, which, man, I thought that was kind of nuts too. Anyway, anybody's had any other experience, I'd love to hear it. I gotta find where that's coming from. That's driving me crazy. All right, we should be good anyway. Nothing ever shakes like this. This is what's weird. The only thing I've done, I've moved this once. Maybe I moved something in the way. I don't know. Who knows? That's fine. I'll just tear it all down after the video. Figure it out. A little deburr. Man, I cannot wait till the weekend. One, I get to do more testing. And I'll be doing more forging, but just get this work week over with. Okay. Feels good. I'm going to check it with the Carson Microbright. Yeah, see, that deburred a whole lot better. It's not perfect, but That's acceptable. I'm gonna give it a couple quick little on the smooth side for this one. And our next one is our HK Knife Works. Also, don't know if any of you guys have a desire for certain types of natural stones. I'm going to show you one here in a second that I'm going to do a video on just because of the claims. All right, let's listen. I mean, she's stupid sharp too. All right, let's just see. Oh, God. Let's just face it. It's my technique, right? It's killing it. The stone that I want to review, and I have another one that I've done before, so I know it's not what it claims to be, but it's one of these guys. It's these natural agates. I got one the other day, this bigger version. And I wanted to do some playing with it. I wanted to test it with deburring as well as polishing and things. I have a smaller one that I've had for a long time because it said 10,000 grit. And for me, back in the day, whenever I picked one up, I was like, oh, 10,000 grit, that's going to make all the difference in the world. Well, that was before I knew anything about anything. I mean, we're talking years and years and years ago. And this is what I ended up buying, which like kind of turned me off of that stuff anyway. That's what I got, you know, this little bitty guy. But they do have an use, I guess. They do have some value. They're not a 10,000 grit finisher, which is what they're trying to sell you. So anyway, I'm going to do some videos on it to show you what I have and do use them for, and how good they are at certain tasks. All right. Set this guy to the side. Here comes our HK Knife Works 1000 grit. When I put the shots up on the screen, I'll let you guys know, obviously ahead of time, so that those that are just listening can pull it up when it's time, if I remember. But I'll put up on the screen like I did before in one single picture. That way you don't have to pause and go back and check or whatever. Man, my finger got jacked up. It hurts. All right, so this is the last one of the 3 knives. This is the other kitchen mini. The 1000 grit HK Knife Works. Way rougher, obviously. As we can tell, it's more scratchy, right? It is definitely rougher sounding than the Cheefarcuut, rougher sounding, of course, than the King. I'm going to tell you right now, this is an insane burr, very significant already. It is not all the way through, though, which is fine. And as we know from my past experiences with this stone, this is a significant cutter. It does feel or seem as if it loads a little more. It does not appear to affect in any which way. So it just discolors it, basically. I guess it just sticks in. You can use the rust eraser or other things. The silicon carbide little, oh damn it. That's always good. Get the whole handle wet. Those little silicon carbide small stones, 120 grit nano actually. King makes one. It's under their, well, Matsunaga, I guess. It's under their Sun Tiger brand. It's called an extra hard I don't know if it's a Nagara, but it's that same size. I think it's all the same one, honestly. I think they probably OEM for Nano for that particular stone. Okay. There's a little spot right here on the back corner. Everything's touched. Boy, it's going to drive me crazy. I know what it is on this side. I can already see it. I stacked up some glass beakers and stuff. Whenever I do like resin mixes and stuff like that, I just stacked them a little close so they're rattling off each other. Looks good, looks good. All right, we're gonna switch. This side though, I just don't know what in the world's going on. Oh, I know what's going on actually. I've got a bunch of knives over here on my drill press, and then I swapped things around the other day. So they're stacked and touching stuff. All right. How to watch a knife sharpener go slowly into madness, listening to things rattle as he moves the table back and forth. Okay, that feels good. Now do some focused spots. It looks nice and clean. Hope to have my new setup done. I'm going to mount my iMac here, which is what I have resorted to using instead of my Windows laptop now for recording. I'm going to mount it to the wall, and that way it's up above my station here. Then I'm going to perma mount some cameras, some different angles and stuff to give some different viewpoints and whatnot, like I've been wanting to do for a while. Okay, I think we're good to go. Yeah, because that thing is looking good on this side. The burr is completely flipped and raised. Might want to hit the tip just a slight amount. That looks better. All right, here we go. Deburr. Oop, yeah, got burr all over this thing. It's an entire nice whole piece of burr. All right, we feel good. Wipe it off. Let's give her a little look-ski. Looks pretty good. There's still some burr on there, so same thing. Smooth side. There wasn't much on there. Well, I keep digging this one spot. It's the little pointed tip on there. It's pretty sharp. And I've dug that little spot probably 3 times now with this one and the other one. It digs in there. It's making its mark. All right. Whoop. Let's give her a liskin. That one sounds a little rougher. Not too bad. I don't know. That's about the same. About the same. Let's go ahead and do the same with this. See if it actually cuts it too. Whew. It's just me. What are we saying here? What are we doing? Oop, that one was not good. I mean, yeah, it's cutting it. It's a small piece. It's harder and harder to control. Ugh. It's just a technique master, you know what I mean? You have to forgive me. I'm not really that conceited. Well, that's just catching. Here, now it's not even doing it. There it goes. Anyway, just a smaller amount right there, but still, it did it. So, what I'll do now is I'll put those pictures. If this is the point in the video, I will post it here. Or maybe on the whole screen, actually, because it's going to be a bigger picture. It'll be all 3 of them. I'll label them which stone was which. And you can judge for yourself what you think about the scratch pattern. Again, the previous scratch pattern for all 3 was the Cheefarcuut 400. So we know what that looks like. If you don't, I could do a reference at a later date for you if you want. Because I did not record it for these, but I have plenty of shots of the Cheefarcuut stone scratch pattern. But yeah, take a look, see what you think. Which one do you think had the better refinement? Did the Cheefarcuut look like a 1000 grit scratch pattern? And which one do you think cut better? So yeah, until this weekend, I appreciate you all tuning in. Appreciate the support as always. Couldn't do this without you guys, and I do this for you guys. So I just appreciate you like a great deal. So I can't say it enough, so you're going to hear me continue to say it. I'm sorry if you get tired of it. But until this weekend, I'll see you guys. Peace, and have a good rest of your week.